Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo is the latest star to have been linked to the Golden State Warriors, with the 28-year-old reported as being on their wish list if he were to ever come available, according to Brett Siegel of Clutch Points earlier in the week. It's unlikely that Adebayo goes anywhere in the near future, but who knows what can happen once the season gets underway. If the Heat suddenly make him available or Adebayo himself were to request a trade, the Warriors could be right there to capitalize with an intriguing trade package. Warriors' potential trade offer for Heat star Bam Adebayo. Adebayo will start a 3-year, $160.8 million extension in 2026 to 27, but he's only set to make $37 million this season, which means he's theoretically acquirable for Golden State without having to give up Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, or former Heat teammate Jimmy Butler. Here's what a potential offer from the Warriors could look like. Warriors receive Bam Adebayo, Pelle Larsson. Heat receive Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, 2028 and 2032 first-round picks. Why the Warriors would consider it? Being able to add Adebayo to the star veteran trio of Curry, Butler, and Green would make Golden State look far more formidable and immediately increase their chances of winning a championship in the short term. The defensive front-court combination of Adebayo and Green might just be the best in the league, while their combined passing skills and the former's improving three-point shot could negate potential spacing concerns offensively. Adebayo's also young enough that he could have plenty of years as an ideal replacement for Green's defense and playmaking. He may not be the complete franchise star you want in the early post-Curry years, but you could certainly do worse, and at the very least he's a quality number 2 or 3. Why the Heat would consider it? Miami are always competitive with Pat Riley and Erik Spoelstra at the head of the organization, but no one takes them seriously as a legitimate title threat as presently constructed. Perhaps they acquire a star themselves to elevate into that tier, yet the other option is to tear it down and enter a rebuild. Dealing Adebayo in this trade package would be a strong start on that, particularly given there have been murmurs of their interest in Kuminga previously. Moody's another potential starting caliber player the Heat could acquire, with both he and Hield on team-friendly contracts. The two future Golden State picks are the real value here, though, especially the 2032 one where Curry, Green, and Butler will have retired and Adebayo himself will be 35 years old. If Riley and the Heat truly believe those picks will land in the lottery, this is a blockbuster deal that could actually come into fruition. Erik Spoelstra's Miami Heat suffered a 103-93 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks in their second game of the preseason. While there were some bright sparks in the game, including Kel'el Ware's impressive double-double performance of 18 points and 13 rebounds, Spoelstra remained critical of the Heat big man. There was a 3-minute segment where it actually impacted the game. The rest of it has to actually impact the game, Spoelstra said while speaking about Ware's performance. I'm not looking at the stat line. I think everybody is looking at the wrong thing. It's got to impact the game. The next game, I want him to be a plus 20. That's what it's about. That's part of the maturation for a young player. He does really good things, and then when you aren't able to do it consistently, it doesn't impact the game. Now, you don't want to have deflating plays. You want to have inspiring plays. Erik Spoelstra pointed out one of the defensive plays where Ware came up with a steal at half-court, referring to it as an example of an inspiring play. He continued to explain how that led to a shift in momentum for 3 minutes. The Heat head coach emphasized that Ware's achievements on the stat sheet were of little significance to him. He reiterated that the performances of Nikola Jovic and Jamie Jaquez Jr., who had 9 points each, had an impact on the game. In this regard, the Heat head coach may be focusing more on the plus-minus stat line, as Ware logged a -22, while Jovic and Jaquez Jr. posted plus 12 each. Kel'el Ware has been on the receiving end of Spoelstra's criticism before. Given the expectations Spoelstra has of the big man to develop into a key rotation player, the 21-year-old has embraced the challenge positively, as he's expressed that he would ensure the franchise doesn't regret investing in his development. Erik Spoelstra has expectations for the young players. After completing the trade for Norman Powell, the Miami Heat became a significantly younger roster. With a talented core at his disposal, it is understandable that Erik Spoelstra has expectations for the younger players on his team. In a lineup featuring Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo as the star duo, the Heat features solid veterans such as Powell and Wiggins to provide depth. Given that the bench rotation features players such as Jovic, Jaquez Jr., and Ware, the need for them to embrace a more significant role to become viable contributors will be essential in developing a winning culture. For the 2025-26 season, the Heat are viewed as a dark horse in the Eastern Conference. Given the potential for this team to secure a playoff berth, Erik Spoelstra will look to the youth on the squad to rise to the challenge. Giannis Antetokounmpo had eyes for an NBA team other than the Milwaukee Bucks over the offseason. It wasn't the Miami Heat. A not really full-on slight Pat Riley and crew should absolutely interpret as one as they wait out and prowl the market for their next superstar acquisition. According to Shams Charania of ESPN, Giannis gave serious consideration to requesting a trade out of Milwaukee over the summer. Had he surrendered to those impulses, his team of choice would have been the New York Knicks. So much for Miami being a desirable destination, right?
Kidding.
Sort of. The Heat need to establish themselves as trade destination again. 28 other squads failed to make Giannis one-team list. That shields the Heat from any true embarrassment. We are also mere weeks removed from Miami ranking as one of Kevin Durant's 3 preferred trade destinations. And in that instance, it sounds like the Heat were the ones who passed on the blockbuster possibility. Still, the Giannis situation is different. He is not just a superstar in his prime. He's the marquee name around whom Miami has seemingly structured its entire direction. Failing to earn even an honorable mention at a time when he's contemplating his future outside Milwaukee is a bummer and something the front office must take to heart. This isn't just about Miami's trade assets. Miami doesn't get to hide behind the notion of having a better trade offer next summer, either. That is true on its face. The Heat can potentially ship out 4 first-rounders next June, their 2026 selection, when it's no longer a future pick, and conditional firsts in 2029, 2031, and 2033. But that has nothing to do with this latest Giannis report. If he and his agents, Alex Saratzis and Jeff Austin, were concerned about identifying teams with enough assets to acquire Giannis, they would not have zeroed in on New York. The Knicks cannot promise a single outright first-rounder right now and will only have 2 to bake into packages next summer. Giannis' preference is clearly rooted in basketball curiosity. New York has caught its attention because of who and what's already in place. If nothing else, this is the message Miami must take away from the newest update. Yes, continuing to load up on draft picks will be important for the Heat's inevitable next trade. But proving their mettle in the Eastern Conference is just as critical. That entails chasing any number of developments. Implementing a new-look offense in which Giannis could see himself thriving is a good start. So, too, is unleashing a floor-spacing big with playmaking upside in Nikola Jovic, who would be an ideal fit alongside the 2-time MVP when Bam Adebayo sits on the bench. Equally, if not more importantly, the Heat need some of their youngsters and more unproven guys to pop. It helps their future trade packages if Pelle Larsson, Kasparas Giannis, Kel'el Ware, and others look like finds. More than that, though, it shows Giannis that Miami will have enough around him post-trade to make a real championship run. As Charania notes, this remains his top priority. It's on the Heat to show him, and any other superstars with wandering eyes, they are just 1 star, or less, away from waging another title push.